Welcome to our October Power Up. My name is Erinda Ylli. I'm the Senior Product Manager for Builtin Integrations here at Acton. I have the joy and pleasure to work on an area of the product that can provide so much flexibility in enabling you to get the most value out of Acton by integrating it to other platforms in your tech stack. For the duration of this webinar, I will be providing a quick overview of our Builtin Connector suite and demonstrate to you how you can use a CRM integration, how to narrow down an iPaaS provider for different use cases, and last, I will show what a custom integration using our API looks like, as in what use cases it can support and the level of effort and resources it requires to implement. Our top two categories of built-in integrations are our CRM and webinar connectors. The most recent additions to the built-in suite were the connectors with Zendesk Sell CRM and Zoom Webinar. Beyond CRM and webinars, we also have integrations that aid your email, web, and social media campaigns. If you're composing an email and want to ensure your emails are error-free prior to the final launch, you can use Litmus directly from the composer to test those emails. They can be tested in different clients, including Outlook, to give you the confidence that they will be rendered correctly. The email plugins for Gmail and Outlook extend the use of Acton to your sales teams. Email sent outside of our platform from Gmail and Outlook use the email templates created in Acton and track behaviors into a consolidated activity view for those leads interacting with the sales emails. If you use Google Analytics to track your site traffic, you can track visitors coming to your site as a direct result of your Acton email campaigns. No connection to your Google Analytics account is necessary. Just enter the list of your website domains in the connectors page, and when you send an email through Acton containing links to any of these domains, Acton will automatically add keywords to the links that tell Google Analytics which email campaign your visitors came from. Finally, you can generate shortened URL from Bitly for your Acton landing pages. Our integrations with CRM platforms go further than a simple data exchange. Our time is limited today, and we cannot do a deeper dive on all of those integrations. But I do plan to give a quick overview of all supported use cases that the built-in suite with CRM supports, as well as show you a quick demo of our top use cases with Zendesk Sell. If you have a Salesforce, Zendesk Sell, Sugar, Dynamics, or NetSuite CRM, please follow along on how the integrations can help you. As a marketer, you can set up automated data exchange flows that are bidirectional for profile and opt-out subscription data. You can also send the lead score to the CRM. CRM-related data can be used to personalize messaging for email and SMS, as well as create highly targeted segments. Finally, the data exchange can unlock reporting of your marketing efforts by setting up funnels that mirror your sales stages in the CRM, as well as have a view of the impact and attribution of your campaigns based on the CRM opportunities. As I mentioned previously, the CRM integrations go beyond data exchange. You can collaborate with your sales teams by triggering notes and tasks that are assigned to them to follow up with qualified leads, or automate campaign memberships for an always up-to-date view of the campaign in the CRM. Sales teams can view Acton insights directly in the CRM and use our Acton capabilities without needing to leave the CRM platform. Here's a quick demo of some of the use cases as supported in Zendesk Sell. This is the data management page for an account connected to Zendesk Sell CRM. I can configure here data mappings for the lead and a contact using profile data from Zendesk Sell. In addition, I can choose related data coming from the deals or opportunities and account tables. When an account is connected to a CRM, email messages can be configured to automatically add a note for the lead or the contact that is receiving the email. This node is assigned to the sales owner as defined in the CRM. This can be removed. Form submissions can also be configured to create a new lead or update an existing one. Automated Journey Builder is another feature that can trigger updates to the CRM. You can add here a step to create a record in Zendesk Sell. In this case, I have chosen to create a task when this particular flow is complete. Jumping into the Zendesk Sell experience, you will notice a data card that is specific to act on. From here, you can send an email or you can view the contact report. This is the same contact report that has the activity for the contact or the lead that is visible in Acton. Next, I'd like to review some of the low-code solutions for integrations not included in our built-in suite. Low-code refers to a development approach that simplifies the process of app building. Platforms that use low-code solutions are referred to as iPaaS or Integration Platform as Service. These platforms standardize how applications are integrated into an organization, making it easier to automate business processes and share data across applications. They provide a benefit to both marketing users and professional developers. There are several iPaaS vendors that have built connectors with Acton. These services can support in connecting various CRMs, ERPs, reporting tools, data warehouses, e-commerce platforms, and more to Acton. Here's a full list of all iPaaS platforms that connect with Acton today. Included is a breakdown of the main platform use cases, as well as a link directly to the provider website. You can find there additional information related to the connector with Acton. There are several factors you should consider when selecting one of these platforms. These are some of the tips I want to part with you in this webinar. First one is to determine the business problem and use cases. Is the platform you are using, in addition to Acton, going to be best served by exchanging data, automate workflows, or report on your campaigns? Second consideration to be had: how does the iPaaS provider charge, and what is the most cost-effective for your use case? If you're interested in data exchange and have a large database, per record charge may not be the best solution. However, if you're looking for a workflow automation and do not expect a consistent high volume flow, per record charge may work best. Of course, if you have edge cases, high data volume, and automation workflows, you may be best served by working with a provider that charges per integration. Lastly, user experience of the platform is a major consideration in ensuring the success in the implementation and maintenance of the integration. If you do not have technical resources to assist, the providers with a UI builder and a dashboard will be your best option. You can use the dashboard to continue to monitor your integration and troubleshoot if there are issues. Most iPaaS platforms are going to be in the cloud, while others will require users to download the software. All of this should be taken into consideration when choosing the right platform for you. SyncApps by Cazoomi is one of the iPaaS provider platforms that has built a connector to Acton. This is a template you can use with considerations to take into account when evaluating the right implementation. I will follow up with a short overview of their user interface to demonstrate how Cazoomi can be used to build and further manage future integrations. This example illustrates how Cazoomi can be used if my CRM is Zoho. I can choose to bring in all my CRM data, leads and our contacts into a marketing list in Acton, or I can select a pre-filtered segment from Zoho that I can keep up to date in Acton in real time. The latter can be a good option to make the integration more cost-effective. Beyond the data exchange for profile data, Cazoomi also supports syncing of campaign metrics from Acton. All this can be set up in a few steps. Depending on your expectations on the number of records, the frequency of the sync, and the level of support you wish to have from sync apps, you have the option between 3 different tiers. You can always start with a free 30-day trial to review the different apps and decide if the platform is a good fit for you. This is the overview of the dashboard for Cazoomi. In here, I can see a high-level overview of the activity throughout my account. This applies to every single integration I may have set up. I see here the number of updated records for a given month, number of processed records, if anything has errored, and also have a picture of what the average sync speed is. Here I'm seeing that I have an integration set up, the one that I went over earlier, that's bringing in CRM data from the contact object into Acton. It's scheduled to sync every 2 hours. The last time that it was synced was just earlier, and it was successful. I can view here further metrics for the given integration, every time any data was exchanged, as well as look into more details. I can filter based on the sync status, if I want to troubleshoot any failed syncs, and I can filter by time frame. I can edit an integration, and this is the existing one that I have for contacts. It's already authenticated. I can leave that alone for now, but this is where you have the option to bring in the particular object if you want to bring in leads. This is the use case if you want to filter your contacts or leads. You can bring in everything. You can choose contacts associated to only active campaigns versus all campaigns, specific campaigns, and different list view and tags. These are specific concepts to Zoho CRM. The additional use case I went over earlier is bringing in email metrics into Zoho CRM. You have further options to identify whether you want to create a new campaign in Zoho based on the email campaign in Acton, update the response fields, and choose a desired status for that campaign. There are additional flows you can update here with a single connector setup. You can change different workflow triggers. You can choose to sync deleted contacts or leave them alone. In this case, I'm not bringing them into Acton. You can resubscribe any Zoho CRM contacts and remove the opt-out flag if the contact resubscribes in Acton. Zapier is the other iPaaS provider connected to Acton that I wanted to review with you today. The reason why I'm using Zapier here is to capture leads generated from scheduled sales demos. Those are being scheduled from Calendly. I'm also running LinkedIn ads and want to capture those leads in Acton as form submissions. Zapier's cost structure is based on ZAPs, otherwise called number of integrations, and tasks. Those are number of records that are being exchanged. Zapier does have a free tier that could accommodate use cases depending on how many zaps and tasks you need to run. This is the user interface for Zapier. It looks similar to what we saw with Cazoomi, in where I have a list of all the integrations that I have set up, otherwise called zaps for Zapier. Here is the one I mentioned where I want any invitees that have signed up for a sales demo. I want to bring them into Acton as form submissions. Here's another example, and this is from a use case that we use here at Acton. We usually capture API provisioning requests into our Acton forms, and in addition to our alerts, we also consolidate all the forms in a Google Sheet. This one has been running since September, and this is where I can see the entire history, every single record that's been created into Acton. Application Programming Interface, or API, is a set of code utilized by software engineers to allow two or more applications to exchange data between one another. The API for an application, such as Acton, is not a database. It is simply an access point to it to access data from another system. Most of the use cases for API integrations are around data exchange. They could be for exchanging profile behavioral data between Acton and another system of record, or it could be for sending campaign metrics such as email, SMS, web engagement to the platform where your data analytics are run from. APIs work best with a single contact list. If you use marketing lists today and are interested to see if you qualify for Acton's next-gen contact management called Acton Contacts, please sign up for our beta program. Before I dive into an example, I want to note that API implementations do require engagement from developers. We have a development portal with resources you can share with your team, and we are always happy to help you identify use cases. If you do not have a developer, you can also engage with our professional services team. Contact your account manager for more details. One of the actions an external API can trigger from Acton is an event-triggered email. In this scenario, there is custom code developed to trigger a commercial AT email from Acton when a purchase is completed in Shopify. In this other scenario, Acton's API is being requested to return to Redtail CRM the behavior score for a given contact. Now, this is a very high-level visual of the data flow between these two applications. Behind the scenes, there is code being run to make the data exchange happen. To be able to execute on the Redtail CRM score example, Acton has established guidelines around where and how the data can be requested from Acton by any other API. The above is a simple snippet of the format of the code, followed by more details that complete the integration for this use case. We provide a reference guide in the portal that shows your developers what data is available and how it can be requested. It also gives examples of what the expected code is for certain use cases. And with that, today's webinar is concluded. In this Power Up session, we reviewed how Acton comes ready to integrate with CRMs like Salesforce and Zendesk Sell, webinar platforms like Zoom, WebEx, and GoToWebinar, and other tools to make your life easier. We went over in more detail on the use cases around our Builtin Integrations and how an integration platform as service or an iPaaS can be evaluated for a variety of other platforms you may have in your tech stack. And for those integrations where built-in or iPaaS platforms are not an appropriate solution, we went over some of the resources we provide for development teams to build upon our API. If you want to reach out to myself and my team following the session, please review these resources. We have a feature request board you can use to add ideas for new feature or improvements, as well as the product partner program you can participate in to help us prioritize features, provide feedback on prototypes and early releases. Thank you for your time and attention today. We will now go live to questions from the audience.